And that the break, I'm going to say.
Well, no, I want.
I'll do the. I'll make sure. I'll do the stick around after.
Right. So, I'm gonna come in, do my thing, introduce Murph, and then once he's done, I'm gonna say, hey, make sure you go to our social media accounts. Second segment today is Ask the Show and Life Advice with Murph, which we'll do so that way people can start getting their stuff in. It gives them 20 minutes to get things in for that segment. And then at that point, I'll kick it over to you. You go over the baseball brunch stuff and stick around at noon for Green Legion Radio. We're going to do all draft coverage, blah, blah, blah. Kick it over to Murph because at that point, Murph is going to do the ticket giveaway. So
once I say this, until you guys want me to come back in to do the second one, I'm walking.
Yeah. Just
hand
it off as soon as you say stick around from noon to 2. With us. We're doing Eagles draft coverage. And now here's Murph with this week's ticket giveaway trivia question, and he'll roll into that.
Okay. You want me to do that?
Yeah. Yep.
Here's Murph with this week's ticket giveaway trivia question. Got it.
And then we'll do that, and then we'll roll right into Out of the Box.
We're going home today, babe.
So should take us 5 minutes to get through that.
Yeah. I would say maybe we don't go all the way back to the beginning of the week in detail.
I wasn't going to go in detail. I was just going to say, hey, last week, like it was a real quick, and then we'll
3 and 4 this week or 4 and 3. It was one of the other.
3 and 4. But just to graze on those two games, because I don't want to get too much into the 2-hour and 22-minute fest between Wainwright and Wheeler. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I want to dive right into Wednesday. Like I want to get down to into that part. Like man, like a lot of
Wednesdays. Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. Tank was here. Believe that.
Believe that.
Can you believe that?
Can you believe that? I'm sorry, can't hear you.
Okay. Guys, we have like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
The 2-minute warning.
We got like 2 minutes. I love you, John. I have to go right now.
Were you feeling like Quimby was the other night?
Yeah. No, the opposite. It won't stop.
What's your pop? Yeah. Just don't do to me what Quimby was doing to you, though. Crop dusting.
I saw where you were going. Brushing Slash.
Still scarred.
Slash was turning as green as the padding on the walls.
They're not acceptable.
Yeah.
What's that?
Somebody call OSHA. Yep.
HR. Right All right, so for now, we don't need... we're doing radio tonight? I'm going to unplug.
What? Yeah. I don't know. I didn't tell her about it. So we'll find out. I got the text. I figured. I was hoping.
The intro might be a little loud.
Summer Sundays are meant for freshly cut grass, ballpark dogs, and the best baseball talk you can find. So kick back with your bacon and eggs and pour yourself a mimosa while Phillies announcer Greg Murphy and Green Legion Radio's Chris Sack break down your fighting Phils and take you around the league right now on Baseball Brunch. Play ball!
And good morning, Philadelphia, and welcome to Bud Light Baseball Brunch, powered by Green Legion Radio, live here at Philly Sports and Social, down here at the new Philly Live Casino in South Philadelphia, where right down the street at Citizens Bank Park tonight, the rubber match between your Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. And I'm looking for more bad blood this week. 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, 104.1 in the Trenton area, WDAS AM around the rest of the Delaware Valley, or you can download the iHeartRadio app and listen to us anywhere worldwide. I am Chris Sack, and I am sitting alongside my co-host, Phillies broadcaster. I love hearing that, Greg Murphy. Murph, what's up, man?
I'll tell you what, Sack, here's what I'm tired of hearing this week. the rubber match. Every other game is a rubber match with this team. Can we get a streak going in the positive direction? Win one, lose one. It's not going to get it done in this NL East. So hopefully the Phils can right the ship tonight and start to build on something. The
best part about it is, Murph, is nobody has hit their stride yet in the National League East. We're still holding down first place. For as bad as things have been, they've been that bad for everybody else.
That's a good point. And it is, we're in the second month of the season at this point. May is here, and you're right. No one, if you look around the NL East, no one has really taken hold of it. They say you can lose a division in April, you can't really win one. Well, no one went out and won this division or lost this division in April because everybody else is playing just as poorly. So I guess if you're looking for a silver lining, there it is.
And piggybacking off of last week, for those of you that tuned into the show, we want to do another segment this week of Ask the Show. And not only is it Ask the Show, we're going to have a life advice with Murph segment, which piggybacks off of last week, Murph, when I was talking about how I was a little tipsy on that Friday night, talking about Rhys Hoskins on my Facebook page, and then he goes ahead and he hits 3 home runs over the next 24 hours. So life advice with Murph is just what the doctor ordered for most of you. So you got about 20 minutes to get your questions in for both of us, or if you have something that you need that's really just like grinding your gears and you need some help in your life, Murph is here to guide you down the right direction. And as well here, right now, to make a couple special announcements for Green Legion Radio, is our unruly house guest coming back in. You guys haven't heard him since our first show, but Craig Quimby Chinoski is here to make a couple announcements about Baseball Brunch and Green Legion Radio. Go ahead, Q.
Appreciate you guys. First of all, where the NL East hasn't hit their stride and can't figure out how to consistently win, the Green Legion has never lost a tailgate. And in that respect and in that comment, the announcement that these guys preluded to this week, it's time for actual Bud Light baseball brunches down at the ballpark. What does that mean? Our first real brunch with Murph and Sack, live on air, will be May 23rd. That is Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. when the Phillies take on the Boston Red Sox. It's hosted by us at Green Legion. It's located on the patio of 1100 Social at Xfinity Live. If you don't know what that means, Murph and Sack will be on the outside patio on the corner of 11th and Patterson every Sunday, starting May 23rd from 11 till noon for the rest of the season. And once a month, you can join them on the patio for the live broadcast of the show, all while enjoying unlimited scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, biscuits and gravy, chicken and waffles drenched in honey or maple syrup, pulled pork, skirt steak, all the rolls, bagels, muffins you can ask for, with all the cream cheese, jellies, and butter, and assorted fruits, yogurts, granola, all while enjoying unlimited stateside vodka drinks, mimosas, and Bud Light Michelob Ultra and Bud Light Seltzer drinks. And a craft beer to be named real soon. This brunch goes from 9 until 1, so the show is dead in the middle of it and only costs $60 per person. Go to greenlegion.com to purchase your tickets. We will have one a month for the rest of the year. May 23rd, the Red Sox. June 13th, Sunday against the Yankees. July 18th against the Marlins. August 15th against the Reds. And depending on the NFL schedule, we'll let you know what the September game is to be. The Pirates or the Rockies on the 12th or the 26th. I forget. One of those two, the second or fourth Sunday.
Okay.
One, the Eagles aren't playing at home.
Sounds like fun.
Space is limited. We only have spots for 200 people right now until they increase space. So your first Boston Red Sox baseball brunch, Bud Light baseball brunch, yeah, it could be limited. So get there to greenlegion.com right now, purchase your tickets, or call the office if you have any questions, 215-666-5940. On that piggyback, real fast. After this show is over, make sure you stay here with us for another 2 hours, baby, because Green Legion Radio is going to completely analyze this horrific third-day draft and first and second day. Second day horrific, we're going to get into it.
That was foreshadowing of your thoughts on this, right?
Yeah, in case you guys wondering where the route I was going to take. Now, on that note, I'm going to pass this back to you guys. We have a Bud Light baseball trivia question for a ticket giveaway by Murph, but I have a quick question for you, Murph. So on social media, you posted, that's your son that qualified for Olympic trials, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Yesterday. Yeah.
That brings up two distinct points about the Murph family.
Uh-oh.
There's at least one athlete there. Yeah, that's about it. And you are really freaking old to have a son that.
You're accurate on both of those again. And God, I am old. But I'll tell you what, it was an exciting day down there. He qualified. He's 19. He's been working on for about a year.
19-year-old son.
I have a 22-year-old daughter. I am that old. Yeah.
Hey, Quimby, real quick for these Green Legion trips, too. Are we able to give out your cell phone number just in case they have any further questions?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
There's nothing I love more than that.
Not a problem. All right, so I'm going to go into my cell phone here, but we have the trivia question right now with Murph.
Guys, I'm out of here.
We do. But hey, quickly, just before you go, I just want to let you know you had me at jellies. When you said the jellies were going to be there, I was like, well, I got to be there.
I can see it now. And Murph, what do you think about that?
Hold on. Yeah, we finished chewing. Let me spread the jelly on my toasted bagel. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Hey, yeah, we're giving away some tickets. Then we're going to get into some good Phil's talk. But we like to give away the tickets. So 3 tickets to Tuesday's game, May the 4th, 7:05 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Aaron Nola going to be on the mound for the Phillies in that game. That should be a good series. This Brewers team is a good team. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Answer the trivia question by following the Green Legion Radio YouTube channel with the Green Legion page on Facebook and our Twitter handle at Green Legion. Here's the question. On September 30th, 2007, I remember that day. The Phillies completed their comeback from 7.5 games back with 17 to go to win the National League East title for the first time since 1993. Phillies closer Brett Myers recorded the final out by striking out which Washington national player? All right.
That's a good one. It's one of my favorite names ever.
Yeah, it's a great baseball name
Yes.
for sure. So make sure that you get your answers in. Tickets, 3 tickets to the May 4th game at 7:05. And Zach, now that the business is out of the way, man, oh man, this week was just kind of
Well, it was but I'll tell you what, it was feisty for sure. And that's where we're going to go to out of the box. Jansen, are you going to play the fight music or not?
I think maybe the fight music is there. It is.
There we go. Apparently what I wanted to have played wasn't able to be played, Murph. But we can piggyback off of this right here. And absolutely, Jansen, thank you so much for the delay on that one as well. Fantastic job. Rough week for the Phillies here, Murph. I know, it's been rough from the standpoint of the standings here. 3-4 this past week. They didn't get the rubber match against the Colorado Rockies, who were the worst team in the National League last Sunday. Then we had a great game on Monday night between Zach Wheeler and Adam Wainwright, a throwback special, 2 hours, 22 minutes, pitching duel. Wainwright had a complete game, and Wheeler pitched into the ninth, and then Neris made it interesting with the ball at the wall off of Arenado's bat. We won't talk about Tuesday, but Wednesday's where it starts to get a little dicey for the Phillies, because not only has it been rough in the standings, it's been rough in the lineup portion. Not only are we missing Gene Segura in the lineup right now, we missed TD Gregorius for a couple games. He wound up on the COVID list. We got him back on Saturday. But the big reason why Wednesday was not so much fun was because of what happened with Bryce Harper in the 6th inning. We had Genesis Cabrera, Cardinals reliever, came in the 6th inning, and let's just put it simply here: he could not find the strike zone. He
said the least.
Yeah. So what Harper had said is that he read up about Cabrera is that he likes to throw a curveball 60% of the time on his first pitch. So he wasn't necessarily expecting that ball up as high as it was going towards his face. Yeah. He immediately removed himself from the game. He went to the hospital. CAT scan showed nothing done to his face. He has a little bit of soreness in his wrist. Hoping to get him back tonight on Sunday Night Baseball against the Mets. And then the very next pitch was a 94-mile-per-hour fastball to the ribs of Gregorius. And then Girardi goes off. He's flipping out. I don't know if he threw out the umpire or he threw out he wanted to throw out Cabrera, but nonetheless, he got tossed from the game. And from my standpoint, from what I saw on social media, Murph, and I want to get your opinion on this because, this is fantastic stuff. What did you feel about their retaliation or lack thereof because, the very next batter after that, McCutchen puts him up 4-3, and you want to hit the next batter. You want to see some carnage, some bad blood going back towards the Cardinals' way that game. But it just, in my opinion, Murph, it wasn't the right time. It didn't fit exactly what we were looking for. I mean, you just took the lead, and all you do is you hit a guy, and then it gives them momentum, and the next thing you know, they hit a 2-run shot, and they have the lead. So, but what's your opinion there?
Baseball forever has been a sport. A lot of sports are, but baseball, they police themselves. And for whatever reason, Major League Baseball, league-wide, has kind of gotten away from that over the last 5, 6, 7 years. I think what we saw between the Bills and Cardinals, it was exactly the way it's supposed to work. And to your point, no, it was not the right time at that moment to retaliate in that game. But what I saw the next night out of Hector Neris was one of the best and most professional things I've seen from this group of guys in a couple of years. Neris knew exactly what he had to do. Now, he hasn't said that he did it on purpose, and that's
nor should he,
because that'll cost some money out of the back pocket. But I think what we saw was a team that is going to fight for one another. It is a team that's going to stand up for one another. You hit our best guy, we're going to hit your best guy. And even in the situation where Daenerys found himself in, that was a tight game as well. And he took the chance to put a guy on, and then got the next guys and got out of that game with a win. I don't think he could have played out any better. It would have been the wrong decision to immediately retaliate in that first game Wednesday night. They waited till the moment was right. They waited to have the right guy on the hill to do it, Hector Neris. And I think all you have to do is look at what the Cardinals manager, Mike Schopp, said after the game on Thursday night. He said, I think both sides handled this as well as it could be handled.
I agree.
And I agree too. It's the way it should be. Let these guys police themselves. Get the umpires out of the way.
Umpires out of the way. Are we preluding to something else here, Murph?
But here's, if they had retaliated on Wednesday night, they're going to lose a guy who's going to get suspended for a game because warnings have been issued on both sides of that.
Which was unfair, and I think that's really what sparked the ire of Girardi.
Yeah.
And really, in reality, some people were saying it was gutless, the fact that we didn't hit the next batter the next inning. I'm sorry, hitting Tyler O'Neill, no offense to him as a Major League Baseball player, it does nothing for me. It's eye for an eye. If you're going to hit one of their guys, you have to hit Goldschmidt or Arenado.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do it later in the game and give them momentum towards a comeback. They did the right thing. Neris got the first and the second out. He got Goldschmidt out the very next night in the ninth inning. And say what you will. There's nobody on base. Arenado's at the plate. This is the perfect time to beat him because if someone's going to hurt you, at least let it be the next guy and not be Arenado. Yeah. So if you're going to pitch around him and walk him anyway, at least let the next guy kill you. They handled it professionally. They handled it the right way. And I looked at it. It was gutsy. It was not gutless because they went on to win that game and set themselves up to win the series the next day with their ace on the hill, with Aaron Nola on the hill. And, it was handled the right way.
Yeah, anyone who thinks that they didn't do it the right way or was gutless doesn't understand the way baseball has policed themselves for the better part of 100 years. So I liked it. I would have been upset had they not retaliated the next night, but they did. And you know what? It was good. And one of the things I like best are the comments that are coming out of the clubhouse over the next couple of days about how important it was for all of that to happen and how hopefully it helps galvanize this team because those kinds of things can happen in a Major League Baseball clubhouse. So it remains to be seen. There were more fireworks later on in the week. We're going to talk about that as well. But it was a good start to get these guys together and hopefully start to get things moving in the right direction. Because right now, I'm getting tired of being on this seesaw, quite frankly. I'm afraid someone's going to get off on the other side and I'm going to come crashing back down to earth, and they're going to find ourselves in third or fourth place looking up in the NL East.
Well, you know what's funny is through the first 4 go-arounds in the rotation, the Phillies were 1-7 in starts that were started by the 4th and 5th starters. This week, the last 5 games, we've won 2 out of the 5, and the 2 games that we won were started by Vince Velasquez and Chase Anderson. And you didn't get a win out of either of the big 3. And Aaron Nola pitched pretty well on Thursday, not well enough. Roman Quinn back at the wall, pretty much drags the ball over the fence and with a 3-run home run, and the Phillies fight back. And I've seen that a lot this week, Murph, with this lineup. For as bad as it has been, for as bad as it has looked, when you haven't had the big bats and Gregorius and Harper and Real Muto out there, they have scratched and clawed, and guys like Bamboo, Brad Miller have stepped up. We're still waiting for Matt Joyce, but Bohm Bohm at third base, he had some hard luck the first 3 games in St. Louis, and then the bat the last few days has gotten going here.
Yeah, 3 hits last night for Alec Bohm. That certainly was good to see. 2-run home run that tied it last night. Nick Maton continues to hit. That's good to see. You mentioned Brad Miller. He did that to us last night. He hit the ball hard 3 times. Didn't have anything to show for it. But, we put the ball in play. Andrew Knapp put the ball in play last night in an important situation. The center field, chasm that is existing right now. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero has not been able to get that position.
71.
Yeah, it's a problem for sure. But to your point, they're figuring out ways to win games that last year they would have won. I think we read a stat on the air last night that the Phillies have won 3 games this year where they've scored 3 runs or less. Already this year, they're 3-5 in those situations. Last year, in 23 situations, they were 3-20. 3 runs or less. So, look, it's not the be-all and end-all, but it is showing you that they're figuring out ways to win even when the bats aren't working. And we saw that the other night with a 2-run wild pitch, which is something you don't see very often. So it's got to get better. No excuses. It has to get better. But again, here we are as May begins, and they're right there at the top of the NL East, albeit 1 game under 500.
Now, a few minutes left here in the first segment with Murph and Chris Sack here from Green Legion Radio. And real quick before we do go into break, and we do have a live read before we go into break, so we have a couple minutes here to play with. Jose Alvarado and Dominic Smith on Friday night. I loved the bad blood. I need more of it. I'm tired of the bromance. I'm tired of the respect that goes on in sports. It's okay to have sportsmanship. But sometimes, man, I just need that little extra to push me over the edge. And really, I don't need a lot to push me over the edge with the Mets to hate them, Murph. I don't. There's a long lineage, a long history of hatred that burns deep down inside of my bones for my hatred for the Mets. But what Alvarado did the other night, and even though I still laughed at his reaction because he's talking all that smack, he's got that swag coming off the mound after he strikes him out the end of the 8th. And then that little sidestep that he takes away and he allows Andrew Knapp and the home plate umpire to get between him and Dominic Smith. I don't know if he really wanted any, but Dominic Smith was trying to bring it to him, and I'm here for it, man. We need that bad blood back between the Phillies and the Mets.
Absolutely. Sports nowadays, baseball's certainly guilty of it. I know the other sports are as well. There's a little bit too much of the chummy chum going across the
bro hugs.
Yeah, if you're in another uniform, guess what? When that game is going on and an hour after or an hour before, we're not friends at that point. You want to hang out in the off season and go out and get a cocktail with a guy from another squad, fine. But I listened to guys like Larry talk about when it was back in the 80s, how they hated the other teams in their division. They respected them, but they hated them, and that's the way it should be. And guess what? The Phillies and the Mets, cats and dogs. Phil's at the dog.
Absolutely.
In that
yes,
scenario.
100%.
But they should. There you go. They should not. They should not have any kind of love for one another. Respect and love are different. I love the hatred. I do not like the Mets, and I think sports needs more of that. And what we saw this week at the ballpark, I was there Friday night. I was juiced up. It was fun. And when the benches cleared the second time, not a complete clear the second time, but I was there. As you said, I'm here for it. I love it. There should be more of it. The Reds and the Cubs got into it this week. I think we've seen the Cardinals get into it earlier.
Oh, yeah. With the Reds. The Reds have done it twice.
The Reds have done it twice. So, yeah, let's do it. Division rivalries should be filled with animosity, and this one is.
Animosity and hatred can build chemistry on a roster there, Murph. And speaking of building, Mcs Construction Services is the largest residential contractor in the Philadelphia area. They supply both resident and commercial contractors, everything to include custom cabinetry. Reach out to them at www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. Ask for your free estimate so you can get started with your MCS Construction Services experience. Perform with quality and safety. They are licensed and insured and are performing services throughout the Delaware Valley, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and even Maryland. Once again, reach out to them at www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. That is www.mcsinc-pa.com or call them at 484-202-3656. And we'll be right back with Ask the Show and Life Advice with Murph right after this.
Dude, we're getting no trash.
It all started one day at Chickies and Beats.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna
The
nothing on
building, the Segue.
I got
Yeah.
trivia,
Okay.
but we have no questions. There's only like 10 people watching.
We had 5 reads that we had to go through. And Spadaro.
They're trying.
By the way,
Come up with something.
Right.
Find one key word that somebody
Love
looks
you.
for.
Yeah, it's fun. Are we doing next step out of the break? We have 5.
You want to do Bucks County baseball?
I can get Bucks coming out of the break.
Hey, Jansen. Hey, when we come out of break, just let us know when we're live, and I'm going to have Murph do his live read, and then you can cut into. Actually, how about we do the trivia answer, and then we'll do it, because that way he can come back in with the music. You had the video queued up with Harry. Yeah. So play the music. Yeah, play the music with Brett Myers, and then we'll announce the trivia. No, I think we said. What did we say? Yeah, I do trust you.
John, do you have any questions for Murph?
Actually,
Because our tweet really
do the live read.
Me and you read.
Well, once he plays the song with the video, be like, "Oh man, that's great stuff." Harry and
Like
whatnot, and then do the live read with Bucks County baseball, and then we'll
Are you going to give the winner the?
we'll do it after you do the read.
Okay.
Yep.
I have one.
Yeah, so then I'll do that.
Okay.
Who is this?
Who is who?
Broad
What?
Street South Sports Hub?
Does he have one? Did someone ask you a question on Twitter?
Me? Here.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, so play the start the song up, and then play the video like a few seconds into it, and then Murph is gonna be like, "Oh man, that's great stuff, whatever," and then he'll do his read for Bucks County Baseball Company, and then I'm gonna give the trivia answer and the winner, and then at that point we're gonna go into guess the show, all that good stuff.
Jansen,
I'll
I
never
got
make
2
that
questions.
Yeah, if you have anything that's
I
non
think
Reese Hoskins
somebody
related,
punched the bartender
Yeah.
this week.
jackass.
I'm not.
Idiot. You thought to just leave the studio.
It's like that meme. It's like that meme where it's like F this.
Yeah.
Oh crap! It's only Thursday.
Yeah.
Jansen, I know you need some life advice, so put something out there for Murph.
Should I post it out again and do another podcast?
Oh, Jesus. That's a great question.
Say it again.
All right, here we go.
That's a great question. I'm not on camera.
This is why because there's no sound. All they're hearing. It's coming through YouTube.
Oh man, I need more of that right there. Harry Palace, 2007, striking out who?
Willie Mo Pena.
The answer to our trivia question. We'll have the winner of those tickets coming up in just a minute. But first, let me remind you, Bucks County Baseball Company is a proud sponsor of Baseball Brunch with Greg Murphy and Chris Sack. Bucks County Baseball Company is the premier vintage sports clothing and collectible retail store in the tri-state area. Visit www.buckscountybaseballco.com or stop by their Bristol, PA location to see their incredible selection, unique vintage sports items for the Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and much, much more. So visit www.buckscountybaseballco.com or stop by their Bristol, PA location. The showroom is huge, the website even bigger. Check it out, Bucks County Baseball Company. Check it out now.
Awesome stuff. And hey, real quick, if you guys did hear one of the names that Harry said within that last clip that we just played from the 2007 NL East champion Phillies clinching game, Chris Coast. Chris Coast was a guest on Murph's podcast, Glove Stories, which the episode just dropped this past Wednesday, right?
Someone else was on that.
Yes, somebody else was on that program too, and I was on there. I did a 5-minute hit with Murph, talking about the 2021 Phillies and a few of the issues from the week that was. So if you guys want to check out that podcast, Murph, why don't you tell them where to go for that?
GloveStoriesPodcast.com. You can go online and find us on Twitter and Glove Stories. So, check it out. And by the way, our last two guests, Brett Myers and Chris Coe. So both those guys involved in that play. But man, oh man, when you hear Harry make that call back in, I remember exactly where I was. I was covering the team, but I was not at that game. I remember exactly where I was when that happened. And you know what? That's what we're looking for. That's what we need back here in Philadelphia. It's been too long. So, hey, who's coming out on May the 4th to watch Aaron Nola in the Brew? We have a winner.
We have Bruce Vail.
All right, Bruce.
Bruce, congratulations. You won the 3 tickets to see Aaron Nola. I bought those tickets on purpose, Murph, because I couldn't get any more tickets for the Dollar Dog Night. They had sold out. So I was like, I didn't want to set somebody up to see Vince Velasquez or Chase Anderson. So I know they won the last 2 games the Phillies have won, but I wanted to give somebody a chance to see Aaron Nola live and in person. So, yes, absolutely. And so, guys, right now we're going to go to Ask the Show. And if anybody has life advice with Murph, make sure you get it in there. We have about 12 minutes here left on this segment. So make sure you guys get them in. You can keep on putting them in on the social media accounts. So, put them across to Sam, and then we can get them asked to us by Kyle. So, Slash, what do you have for us today?
All right. The first one is for both of you guys. It is from Angel Martinez. How did this team come together as a whole, and how did Chris and Murph become radio partners / lifelong friends?
Well, I was on Angel's podcast on Friday night. I did probably about a 10 to 15 minute spot with him and his gang. And so how did we come together as a unit? Well, thankfully, I have a great leader and mentor in all of this, and Quimby. And now, man, I'm not just saying it because Quimby's here. Quimby has fantastic connections. And a few years ago, when I got involved with Green Legion Radio, and then Quimby came to me during the off season, and he said, "How would you like to do a show with Greg Murphy?" And I was like, what kind of a question is that? I would love to do a show with Greg. And no, that's what Greg said, because he felt as my buddy Pat, who's in attendance here tonight or this afternoon, as he likes to say, I helped torpedo your career. But if anything, his career has gone nothing but up since he started doing the show with me, because now he's no longer Phillies' former broadcaster. He is Phillies' broadcaster. And then, the rest of the team, Jansen's been a part of 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, and then, Slash as well, and Sam as our intern with Green Legion Radio. So I've been lucky enough to be blessed with a great team, individuals that have come together and become a team to create a really good show that I take pride in.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't talk about this enough, but I met Quimby way back in the day. I was working for NBC Sports Philadelphia, I believe.
Not the first time.
No, was it CNA? Yeah, I was back at CNA. This was a long time ago. And a bunch of my buddies got together, and we said, we're going to go on one of these Green Legion trips. And we went out to San Diego. So I was just starting it. We went out to San Diego, and we went on that first Green Legion trip. And man, oh man, did we have a good time. And I met Quimby on that trip. I got to know him a little bit. And then we went back in 2010, I believe, it was to Chicago. We went as a group again. So I'm a Green Legion traveler before I was a Green Legion employee. And if you haven't done that yet, folks, you got to do it.
Me too.
It is so much fun to be a part of that. And then, obviously, like to your point, Quimby reached out this week. We've stayed in touch over the years, and he reached out to me this offseason and said, hey, what do you say? Let's get together and do the show on Sunday mornings. And I said, I'm off. Let's sign me up. Who's this Sack fella? Who's this guy? And it's been awesome ever since. It's been terrific ever since. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yes, and we enjoy putting the show out. And I love getting the positive feedback that we've received over the first. This is our 6th show. So yeah, it's been awesome. So what else do you have, Slash?
All right, so I got one more here, and then I'll kick it to Jansen because I know he's got a couple questions.
Are we actually gonna have to hear Jansen's voice on
that? Yeah, and then I'm gonna read Jansen's life advice question that he tweeted out. I think he has one before that. So another one coming here on Twitter. When Gene Segura comes back and everybody's healthy, could you see Nick Maton moving to center field?
$1 million question.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's an interesting talk. You and I spoke about this on the show last week, Zach. We're speculating at this point, but it's going to be really hard for the Phillies to make a decision to send this kid down right now. He has just continued to hit. He's been one of their best offensive players.
He's been feeling really well
He's
too.
outstanding. So I can tell you this: he has been doing some work in the outfield. He's been taking fly balls during BP. He's been working with their outfield coaches and trying to get a feel. He has said, "Hey, I'll play anywhere Joe Girardi wants me to play. I just want to play," which is the right attitude for a young kid. It's a lot to ask for. Making his major league debut this season. Now you're going to ask him to bounce around from position to position. However, Zach, you pointed out, and rightly so, that they're going to want him, if he's not going to be playing at the big league level, they're going to want him to get at bats and go back down to AAA and keep swinging. But if they can find him a spot, and guess what? If the center field position does not get much better, I think he probably does get at least a crack out there.
Yeah, and at this point, Murph, the way that he's hitting, he's been our hottest bat since he debuted a couple weeks ago. I know Harper had stretches there, and like Harper's hitting home runs and doubles, and Hoskins gets hot too. But if you want to talk about a consistent bat in the middle or towards the end of our lineup, but a consistent bat in our lineup the last couple of weeks, that's been Nick Maton, and he. I know when Segura does come back, and Segura was swinging a very good bat before he got hurt, and it was unfortunate. And then, Didi hasn't been, offensively hitting as well as we would like him to. But at this point, man, you cannot take him out of the lineup and put him back down in AAA. You have to ride the hot hand until he can no longer do what he's doing right now. And finding him a place to play, whether it's in left field because McCutchen has not hit his stride yet. He's a little bit better the last few games since they benched him on Monday and Tuesday, but he has not played to his standards or our standards as well. So you have to find a place for this kid, whether it's in center field, whether it's in left field, and you have to ride the hot hand while you can.
No, and I agree with you. And look, I said it last week. Nick Maton's job right now is to make it as difficult as he can for the Bills to send him back to AAA.
100%.
And if he gets sent down to AAA, it's not a demotion. It's because they want him to play each and every day, and they can't find him a spot in the big leagues to do that. They will send him back down. But at this point, the Bills, they're not going to lose a whole lot if they try him out there at center. Gene Segura is going to be your second baseman. Vladimir Gregorius is going to be your shortstop when healthy. Those two guys are going to be in the lineup, 6 days a week. So if Nick Maton is going to find playing time, it's going to be in the outfield. So why not? Why not give him a shot?
What else you got there for me, Slash?
So I actually do have one more here, and then I'll bring it to Jansen. It's on Twitter, so this guy is at jjansen34. He says, "Hi, John Jansen here. I know that Vince Velasquez isn't good yet. Isn't good yet. I cannot give up on him. How do I move on without feeling completely heartbroken? Thanks in advance."
I wish we had some music behind that. That was
the world's smallest violin.
Yeah.
Seriously, as if this guy hasn't had enough chances.
Well, yeah. It's funny though. And look, I'll play the devil's advocate to the Vince, let's move on.
Thank you. For once you play devil's advocate. And normally I have to be that guy on this show.
Well, no, I'm going to play devil's advocate and argue for Vince, which is probably, yeah. But here's the thing.
Okay, all right.
Right now, at the moment, he may be the fourth best starter on this team. And that's not saying that that's a high bar, but you need a guy that can go out and give you 4, 5, 6 innings, keep your team in the game. And Vince can do that most of the time. So unless you give me a better option, and whether that option is Spencer Howard or, some of the other young depth in the Here's what I want to say to John Hartfeld. Hang in there again. It's going to be okay. The Bills are going to find that pitching depth that they need, and we all and things are going to turn around.
Well, did you know that he's not starting on Monday night? That distinction is being given back to Matt Moore. So not only is it Not only is it dollar dog night on Monday night down at the ballpark between the Phillies and the Brew Crew, it's dollar meatball night as well. He's going to be serving them up all night, Murph. And
I don't know.
I hope I'm wrong.
Matt Moore was a different pitcher in spring. I know it's spring training, but he had better stuff. No, but he had better stuff.
Okay, all right.
Maybe he can find that again.
Yeah, God, one can only hope so, Murph.
Yep, that's what you got to do.
Yes, because I about had enough of watching him before he went away on the injured list. Now I got to watch him again. He's good through the first time through the lineup. And then after that, it's like, oh, well, we've seen the same slop over and over again. Let's just walk and get on base and then allow ourselves to hit a 3-run home run off of them. But
you got to figure it out. You're right.
Listen, we had this question a couple weeks ago in regards to, and I want to get to Jansen's life advice question as well. What's the most pressing issue, center field or the rotation? And I believe we both said at the time it was center field. But like Chase Anderson he's acquitted himself pretty well. He gets you through 5 innings. So you know you're going to have to use the bullpen. But from where he falls in the rotation, it's right after Aaron Nola. So if Aaron does what he's supposed to do, the bullpen should be pretty fresh when Chase Anderson gets you through his 5 innings the next night. But that four spot in the rotation is a real issue just as much as center field is.
It's an issue. But what you have to remember as a Phillies fan, you have to take a step back and look around the league. Find me a fourth starter that you're like, hey, I love that guy. I mean, it's just
it is pressing.
There are not
pressing.
a whole lot of rotations that go 4 and 5 deep with outstanding talent. Okay, and well, first of all, these guys are all outstandingly talented, but in terms of a major league ball player,
yes,
so you just have to put it in perspective, and it would be wonderful to have 4 Zach Wheelers on your staff. It would be great to have 2 Zach Eflins and 2 Aaron Nolas, but no team has that. 1 or 2 teams have that kind of depth, and other than that, it is what it is. So you just need Chase Anderson to go out and do what he did the other night. If he can do that, the Phillies are in good shape with Chase Anderson, and you need either Vince Velasquez, or Matt Moore, or Spencer Howard, whoever's going to fill that other spot, to do a similar thing more often than not. That hasn't happened yet, but it's still.
Speaking of perspective, Jansen, what's your life advice question for Murph? Because last week, Murph guided me in the don't drink and go on Facebook and Twitter, and that helped me out over last week, Murph, and I really appreciate that. So I think Jansen is just as much of actually obviously he's more of a train wreck than I am. So Jansen, why don't you go ahead and ask your question to Murph?
See, I think I'm beyond life advice at this point.
Oh, I can help.
But no, I think at this point it would be life advice. So you had, I thought, the hardest job. I had it in the sideline reporting because you had to go out in the crowd. And the chances of having an awkward conversation live on air with either a person walking through the ballpark or
the Steve Coates moment.
But you have to interview anyway because they're telling you to. What ended up being one of the most awkward moments you were part of? And I guess life advice, how do you get out of awkward conversations?
Oh, wow. What a great question. Now, you're putting me on the spot only because now I got to try and think of I can remember many awkward interviews that I've had over the year. It's funny because the random folks, the guy that catches a foul ball because they told the baby at the same time, those guys always end up being awesome. It's the ones where we set it up ahead of time, maybe a pseudo-celebrity, like one of those B-list guys that are at the ballpark, and you have a conversation with them during the game, and it's like, oh my God, get me out of here. Those seem to happen more often than not. So I'll tip my cap to the Phillies fans over the years that I've kind of stuck a mic in their face out of the blue. For the most part, I think they've acquitted themselves pretty well. But how do you get yourself out of an awkward conversation? Go to commercial break?
I guess
that's what I always do.
I guess Jansen's never dated before. I mean, in most cases,
second date.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times where you have to get yourselves out of awkward situations.
A ton of first dates.
How the heck did I get here, and how do I get myself out of it?
Yeah,
So.
it's a great question. I always say we'll be back right after this, and then you're gone.
Yeah, but Murph is trying to do that in the middle of an inning. The Phillies are in the middle of a rally.
Sometimes I do it when I'm just walking through the casino floor here. Whatever works. But,
Just because I'm curious, is Chris Wheeler the most underrated Phillies broadcaster?
Absolutely, 100%.
I thought you were, Murph.
Well, okay. No, I'm second. Believe me, Chris Wheeler is one of my favorite people on the planet. I've always thought that he got, he didn't get the appreciation that he deserved, Quimby, from the folks here in Philadelphia. And look, he was, he's paired up with Harry, and that's a difficult spot to be. Chris Wheeler is a great baseball man. We're going to get him on this show. We're going to get Wheels on
Awesome.
this show. He has a great baseball mind. He's a great baseball man. And if you go back and listen to him as a broadcaster, he's an excellent broadcaster as well. So you can say what you want, and turn Quimby's mic off, please.
I haven't listened to him as a member of Blue Belt Country Club for 8 years. I have a different perspective.
Yeah, well, the question was broadcaster. He's an outstanding broadcaster, not just.
Well, Quimby hopping back on. The Green Legion Baseball Brunch is part of the Green Legion Radio and Green Legion family. Remember, while our radio shows are growing by leaps and bounds, the bread and butter of the family is the experience you have with us when the Eagles or Phillies hit the road. We currently have a Fenway package from July 9th through the 12th on the website, and we include Las Vegas, Denver, Dallas, Atlanta, Carolina, Detroit, Washington, D.C., and even a trip to the Dominican Republic for an awesome watch party weekend, either over the bye week or in place of visiting the Giants, also on the website. So make sure you go to greenlegion.com or contact the office at 215-666-5940. That is greenlegion.com or 215-666-5940. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, so do you have the sounder ready for Can You Believe It?
Can you believe it? Yeah.
All right, so when we come back, we're gonna do our picks. If you want to hit the sounder, I wanted to last week, so you can hit whatever disappointing sounder that you want, Chance. It's
I need you right
situation.
now. Is this an input? Do you know?
For headphone?
Is that a headphone?
Yeah.
Shit. All right, so the issue,
Feeling better already.
this StreamYard thing, it's not bad because you guys are live on the air. People should be listening,
They
but
can't hear us on StreamYard?
because we don't have the board, I can't trick the mic setup into Sam's computer. Right now, what people are hearing is you guys through the camera mode.
So that's probably the reason why we weren't getting a lot of questions on there. Maybe that's what it is.
That's why,
Okay.
that's why there's so little people on your StreamYard.
Gotcha.
Because they can hear you because you're right here.
Right.
Can we move the camera?
Oh, so aren't they they're not hearing it through the PA?
Yeah, can we move closer to the PA?
You know how bad that's.
Yeah, that might give you
Yeah, it could give you a lot of.
I think what we'll do for the second show is we'll bring the. Well, it's
Slide the camera over a little. I don't have.
See if this changes a little.
No one wants to see
All right,
my
Chance, I'm
face
sorry.
anymore.
Quimby was talking. Whatever disappointing sound you want to play.
Are both of them in the
Both of
frame?
them are in this picture.
That we're in the shot.
Hey, Murph.
Yeah.
When we come out, you want to do next sit?
Yep.
All right, so do the next sit live read,
You get a long.
and then so when he plays the song, start going in the next set, and then kick it over to me. I'll be like 102.5 Fox Sports
Somebody has to have it.
Bud Light Baseball Brunch. Last segment. Let's go to our picks. Bang. It's all of our reads at that point.
Well, I have a million inputs, not just the one you have.
Well, if you can go 1/8 inch to USB,
I have a million inputs.
Dude, those nachos smell so good, man.
you don't have to go.
I really do. Though. My mouse is one of
You
them.
have
I
like
don't need
4.
that. That's my mouse.
What, nachos?
That's the charger. This is.
So we're blaming Slash.
And then there's the Ethernet cable. And then I have all the.
They're not.
It's mine, stupid. It's only so that I
They're not
can.
supposed to hang out very long.
Yeah.
That's the way they work.
I know. I'm just telling you.
That's not easy.
I don't need the mouse.
Dude, when they walk by with that plate and you smell it, oh my God.
What's the ones for the phone? The ones that are the ones.
Jesus.
They're not for it, though. They're just the old ones, not the one that I have now. The old one. You know what I'm talking about?
So does that mean you're going to get a chub when he calls in, when Murph lands him to be on the show?
8 channels.
Will's is the man.
Murph over here is like, it's one of my best friends, man.
Hey, they're both good friends of mine. Very good friends. I love them.
You know what I'm noticing a
I
trend
knew
here
Wheels
is
before I even started with the broadcast. I knew
Sam, our intern, Kevin Kincaid,
How's it going?
Kyle, our producer.
Nice to meet you, man.
Zach,
Thanks for joining
Kevin
us today.
Kincaid.
Yeah, what's up, man? Nice to meet you.
You know Greg Murphy.
Yeah.
John Jansen says hello, Kev.
Yeah, Jansen's back in studio. You don't have to say hi.
You can say hi to him when he gets on the headphones.
Were we? Yeah. I used to host the show way back then, probably before your time. Yeah. But
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so he's the Ricky Bo of the union coverage?
Good to see it.
I like that. Who the hell wants to come when you have Ricky Bo?
Podcast.
I thought that was last week. I didn't see his name pop up.
Coming back, gentlemen.
Back with the next. The neck sip, as in what connects your head to your torso. Neck, N-E-C-K, neck sip. Time to visit up, to free up those hands and wear your drink, everyone. Wear it. Visit nexsip.com and follow them at nexsip. It holds any beverage, even bottles, cans, and snacks. It's COVID safe. Wearing your drink helps stop the spread of germs. This beautiful piece of mastery sits around your neck with a durable pouch and straw. Text with both hands and drink at the same time. Not you, Mr. Staff.
Nope, not at all.
Visit nexsip.com. Customized with your team's colors. Perfect for sports events, parties, hunting, or anything you do outdoors. It is USA made. Only $5 each. Wear your drink and free your hands. Get 15% off when you use the code GREENLEGION. Again, visit nexsip.com and follow them at nexsip.
Welcome back to our last segment here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch down here at Philly Live Casino. Sports and Social, FanDuel Sportsbook here as well. We are mere footsteps away from Citizens Bank Park for tonight's rubber match, and I know Murph continues to hate hearing that rubber match on Sunday Night Baseball between your Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets, and I'm sick and tired of these New York Mets fans. They can take their belly button sweat and head back up the New Jersey Turnpike because I no longer want to hear it. But I don't really smell any Mets fans around here. It's either Hollis or the Nachos down here, Murph.
Yeah, I was going to say, we are steps away from those.
Oh,
nachos,
man.
Hollis and the crew.
I got to wait 2 more hours until I can crush some nachos, but I think that's the last thing that I need. So, all right, let's go ahead now. We're going to have our weekly picks, Major League Baseball action on Sunday. Murph was 2-1 last week, and he's riding a hot hand right now. And I continue to say bet with Murph. He's 7-4 on the season. I was 1-2. I was 1 run shy of a 2-1 week with bases loaded in the 9th inning, but that did not come to fruition. 3-8 on the season. Stop it, Jansen. Stop it. Man, that's like my theme song so far this year for the picks. 3 betting lines on Sundays, Major League Baseball ticket that we like: money line, run line, over under run totals. What do we have this week? Murph, why don't you give me your first one?
All right, so I looked at the first one. I like the Red Sox. They're down in Texas right now. Garrett Richardson versus Mike Fulton-Evans. I've never been a big Mike Fulton-Evans guy. I only had one real good season, but for the most part, he's got a great name. And people, they
Fulty.
Yeah, Fulton's got a good nickname and everything. I'm not a huge fan of Fulton-Evans, so I like the Red Sox. It's an easy one. I'm just taking the Red Sox to win this outright today. -125, I think it was. Red Sox over the Rangers.
Be honest here, Murph. You don't like Fulton-Avich because you used to have to write that down constantly on a scorecard.
Can you see how I spelled it on my computer right now? It's not even close. It's Fulte and then Navich. I don't know.
You know how to say it, but you don't know how to spell it. Which up until Kevin Franzen started doing the scorecards for you guys, that had to be difficult for you to spell.
Yeah.
So, well, the Red Sox, they have the best record in baseball right now, so that's a solid selection. Yeah, me neither. So I'm going to skip my first one because I know your third one ties into that. So I'm going to go on my second one. The Oakland Athletics, -220 today. Avoid the sweep at home versus the Orioles. I know I took them last week, and I mushed them. Murph. They were going to win 14 in a row, and I took them, so they lost 8-1 against the Orioles. They're not going to lose this game. They're going to win. -220 with the A's. Add it to your ticket, or go the other way and actually win some money.
I actually really like that pick. I think that's a solid way to think. There's no way the A's are getting swept at home by the Orioles. The Orioles have played them well, but I agree. I think they win that game. All right, next game for me, I'm taking an over-under on this one. All right, so the Cardinals and the Pirates are getting together. It's Carlos Martinez versus Will Crow. The over-under is 8.5 in this one. Two good pitchers, guys that have pitched pretty well this season. They don't have the records to show for it. But I'm taking the under on this one. 8.5 is the under. Give me under Cardinals Pirates. It's getaway day for both teams. I think they're both headed out on the road. The Pirates are on the road at this point, but I think they're gonna be swinging a lot of pitches in the dirt. Keep it under 8.5.
Okay. And then I have my over-under for this week is the Dodgers and the Brewers. I know Urias is pitching and for the Dodgers, and he's a very solid pitcher. But I'm going with the over here at 8.5 runs, minus 110, which is what you win. So if you bet 110, you'll get $100 out of that. So I'm going to take the over on that 8.5. The Brewers didn't know until yesterday or last night who their starting pitcher was going to be today. Count on the Dodgers to get the bulk and the majority of those 8.5 runs.
Johnny Holstaff pitching for
Bittinger, I believe, is who's starting. So
who's starting is the key word.
Right. Yeah, and you don't want to have that problem when you're playing the Dodgers.
I gotta say, Zach, I like all three of your picks this week. So,
well, I've only made 2.
Yeah, well, you're right.
You're lying to me, Murray.
I like my picks too. Yeah, good point. I like your first 2 picks. You already told me your picks. I do like it. Marlins Nationals. I know we're both picking this game.
Yes,
right?
yes, we
I know
are.
your picks.
Yes.
Marlins Nationals. Scherzer versus Trevor Rogers. Rogers has been really well this season. His ERA is under 1.3. Scherzer, I think he's 1-2, but he's been good. Scherzer hasn't been Max Scherzer every time out nowadays, but he's still pretty darn good. So the over-under on this one is 7. So you think to yourself, well, you got to take the under on this one. Although going the other way, I'm taking the over. It's almost too easy, I think, to take the under in this game, which makes me always think go the opposite direction. So I'm going to go over the Marlins Nationals game, over under 7. Scherzer Rogers. They're going to score some runs today. It'll be a 4 game at some point, and then someone's going to win it late in the game, and we'll go over here.
All right, well, because Max Scherzer is pitching today, I'm taking the Nationals. The Nationals, I believe, are holding the longest winning streak in the division for the season. They've won 3 in a row. Patrick Corbin pitched well on Saturday. So I'm going to take Scherzer on the hill against the Marlins. They're going to win 4 in a row, and then hopefully the Phillies can keep pace with them and stay atop National League East after tonight against the New York Mets. So those are our selections. Take them. Put them on your ticket for this week. And now we're going to go into Can You Believe It?
I can believe it, Harry.
Man, I can't. I don't think I'm going to get tired of that anytime soon. Love it. All right, so Murph, why don't you lead off here? Why don't you give me your first Can You Believe It for this week around the league in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite segments that I do every week because so many cool things happen in the game of baseball. We see it all the time. If you come down to the ballpark, you're liable to see something you've never seen before. I saw something I never saw before this week. A wild pitch, 2 runs scored on a wild pitch. So I love this segment. And so go back to Wednesday night. And it was the Atlanta Braves and the Cubs playing a game. It was a lopsided game. Atlanta was all over the Cubs in this one. Brett Freeman, last year's MVP, had 4 hits against Cubs pitching going into the last inning of this game. And then we had a position player pitching. Rizzo is on the hill for the Cubs. And what does he do? He strikes out his good buddy, Freddie Freeman. Strikes him out. And after the game, Freeman kind of he joked about it. He said, look, first of all, it's hard for Major League players to go against guys that are throwing, position players are throwing 70 in the 70s or throwing knuckleballs up there, they're throwing curves. It's difficult at that. And he said, look, we made a couple people smile out there today, and that's what sports is all about. Atlanta got the win. Freeman strikes out, one of the best hitters in baseball. So, again, it's fun, a fun moment in baseball. And Freddie Freeman gets it, which I also love.
Frederick. Yeah, I love that moment too. And I know we were talking earlier about hatred, but I can totally dig on having that part. Yes, absolutely. And it's not between division rivals. So my Can You Believe It, my first one for this week is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on Tuesday night became the youngest player in Major League Baseball history to hit 3 home runs and have 7 RBI in the same game. And he's been swinging a red-hot bat, and he's been dragging that Blue Jays lineup. I know they're hovering around 500. I believe we both took them to be playoff teams this year. But that offense eventually is going to get going. But Vladimir Jr., man, he's just carrying them right now.
Yeah, and he was a guy that they were a little worried about last year just because of his weight. They needed him to get back in shape and get back to doing what he was doing. Well, it's doing. All right, we talked about this before, but the New York Mets and their fans frustrated again Wednesday night. DeGrom was brilliant in his outing, and once again, they end up losing a game 1-0 that Jacob DeGrom. It's unbelievable. He struck out 9. He has 59 strikeouts on the season, and he lost to our buddy, Nick Pivetta, who started on the opposite side for the Red Sox. Yeah, he only went 5, but bullpen was good for the Red Sox as well. And once again, the New York Mets lose a game that DeGrom. So you think we got it bad here, Philly? That guy is the best pitcher in baseball, and they can't get him wins. It's unbelievable.
Another nugget for you, piggybacking off of that, is Nolan Ryan. He tied Nolan Ryan for the most strikeouts through 5 starts in the season.
That's right.
59.
Yeah, 59.
Speaking of strikeouts, Clayton Kershaw made 7+ innings pitched, allowing 0 runs for the 55th time in his career. That's the 3rd most in the wild card era. Randy Johnson, 57, Tim Hudson, 56. Every time Clayton Kershaw takes the mound, we're seeing something special.
Yeah, you know what? He's must-watch TV. He always has been. He's getting older, but he still is an outstanding pitcher. You talk about a one rotation that's got some depth, 1 through 5. Okay, I'll give you the Dodgers.
Right. I think they're 1 through 7.
Yeah, they might be.
Well, we're wrapping up here with Bud Light Baseball Brunch on another beautiful Sunday down here in the Delaware Valley at Philly Live Casino. For Greg Murphy and Slash and Sam Ross with like a 3-1 pitch. I'm Chris Sack, and we are out of here.
We
done?
Yeah.
We are done.
Did you talk about baseball brunch yet?
What's that?
Did you talk about baseball brunch yet?
When I did the Green Legion hit.
You're gonna wait. Clear out some space.
That's why we're right now.
You are right here next to Sack.
Are we doing anything? Dude, are we doing any of these live reads during the course of the show? Do I need to keep them up?
All right, guys, 10 seconds.
Thank you.
What, he's kidding. He's kidding.
And I'll throw.
They have their sheets. Did I give you a run sheet?
No.
Big tree fall hard. What's up, brother? Good job, brother.
We got 3.
Thanks, Murph. Another good show.
What's going on, man?
Good to see. How
How do you get
2 more hours.
Sunday dress? You look great, man.
Can't be with you.
Murph, have fun with that real estate stuff, brother.
Thank you. I got 3 contracts to write.
I don't need one. I'm just here to look pretty.
mission accomplished?
I thought that's why Quimby was here.
If
Yeah, I
you,
thought that was my job.
oh, hello. That's not even funny, guys. What do you want to do with this camera now?
No, you fucking idiot. Power strip.
Jansen wanted to say hi to you earlier. He said that you're the Ricky Bo of the post-game show.
He called me that. This week he called me the Ray Duty last week. So I think we're just going for that.
Yes.
This is impressive. I worked at Jack for 10 years now.
It's Quimby. I do the run sheet for baseball brunch, and I took me and my wife took our kids over to my sister's house yesterday, and I'm sitting there, I'm typing it up while the kids are playing. I'm like, let me just get this done now. I don't feel like doing it tonight when I'm drinking.
Yeah. Quimby, do you just want the regular Green Legion radio open? Bring us in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't need to be.
Nobody
my-
needs StreamYard. We have it.
Okay, then you ignore my email.
All right, everybody, remember, watch your language. I'm just friendly reminders, friendly salvos for you.
Have a good show, everybody. See you guys.
Later, Murph.
That'll Yeah, we'll be
Look
testing.
at that. We already got a lower brunch.
Wipe the cobwebs off that dumb.
Is it Lonnie Zimmerman?
No. Nobody told her Vito would be there.
Diaz won't be
How
there
much time
either.
do we have, Jason?
About a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
You
know.
guys sound good? Your headsets sound good?
Yeah. Yep.
Give me some mic checks. Yeah, check 1, 2, 3, 4. K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. K.
Tank, would you get your damn headset on?
How about you ship it?
Yes, sir.
Tank's getting it out of the way now.
Okay.
hand up.
I don't know what's going on there,
I did it on purpose.
but it's feedback. So the